Well, ours started as a graduate school project at K-State back in 2009. That's when the original chicken footstools, Henny and Penny, were born. Now the artist is bringing a little bit of farm life to everyone's home. Well, in this part of Kansas City, Missouri, we've got a lot of chickens just walking around over here. And this girl, her name is Luna. She's made in part by Sally Linville. Now, let's also talk about this knit chicken. How does it get its start?
I'd be glad to show you. This is called a carding machine, and what we can do with this machine is take any kind of fiber. We mainly work with merino wool sheep, and we put it into the rotating bins here, and we can blend and mix and match colors and make some really beautiful gradients. So that's how we begin with the carding.
This isn't just art, it's also a chicken footstool.
That's right.
And then after the carding's done, this is the finished product, and it's just a nice, beautiful piece of wool. So what's the next step?
Okay, so now we take the carded bats and we can divide it up, and we pull it into layers, and we crisscross those layers so that the fibers can bond to one another. And we'll layer up several different layers depending on the texture and the colors that we want. This is where we can do some patterning. So, Belinda, do you like stripes or spots today?
Ooh, I love polka dots.
Polka dot, okay,
yeah.
We can do some polka dots. So we're gonna take this black fiber and we'll just lay this here.
There we go.
There,
got it. Look at that. So now we've moved into the wet felting room. So what's the first step?
Okay, so we've laid out our design polka dots. We just need some simple soap.
Okay.
Put it over.
Who would think that Dawn soap was a part of it to make a chicken?
Right. Hey, there's a little chick on there. Yeah. Okay, so then we use hot water and we just sprinkle the fiber gently. And then we rub the fibers. Would you like to get your hands on here?
I absolutely would.
Yeah.
I mean, first let's just show, this is what it's going to look like when it's all done. And these actually end up being feathers that are sewn onto the beautiful sculpture footstools.
The fibers are bonding together, so they go from loose and fluffy to forever bonded. And so, so then we'll have a piece of felt that we can work with and stitch with, kind of like a wool sweater.
Well, Henny's still at the City Girl farm. Penny wasn't so lucky and had to be disassembled. Sally says the chickening process has come a long way in a decade. A little bit later, you'll see some of the chickeners in action. At the City Girl farm, they make two types of chickens, felted or knitted. The women behind the hand-knitted feathers are known as chickeners. So let's meet the flock. So we know that chickens hang out in flocks, and at a certain point it was time for Sally to grow her own flock, and so she's really created these positions and given opportunities to people who are called chickeners. So how did that come about?
Yes, I have a wonderful flock of chickeners, and everybody brings different skills to the table. We love to collaborate here at the studio, and people take work home and work independently as well as collaboratively. And we have on display two of our stars. This is Emily and Georgia.
I gotta see what Emily's doing down here.
She is demonstrating spinning yarn on a spinning wheel, and that's something super special about our chickens, I think, is that we spin all of our yarn in-house with our artisans, and so we can really develop the colorways that we want specifically and the weights of the yarn.
And what Emily's doing is actually making it possible to go ahead and knit something.
That's right. So we have two lines of chickens, felt chickens, which we just showed you, and knit chickens. And Georgia is knitting yarn that Emily has spun. So she's using a loop knit stitch, which makes for special, funny, loopy chickens.
So people right now, they are actually knitting the feathers that are going to go onto the chickens.
Right.
They're upholstered, they're made from bronze. Is that what their feet?
The feet are bronze, yep, and their bodies are wooden eggs on the inside, and then we upholster them here at the studio.
Okay, and then what she's making right now, the finished product is gonna look something like this. We're gonna have so much fun actually decorating or helping to decorate one of these chickens. Well, these chickens are locally sourced. The wooden body of the chickens, which are also called eggs, well, they're shaped by Sally's dad on the Central Missouri farm where she grew up. A little bit later, we'll show you that feathering process as these birds come to life. Welcome back. So you normally wouldn't ask to put your feet up on someone's artwork like this, but at the City Girl Farm, it's expected. See what happens during the feathering process to finish up these unique footstools. So you may be wondering how they go from a naked chicken to a nearly completed one, and that, my friends, is the feathering process. Sally is a master, and right now we are looking at placing some of these, right?
That's right. So we have, these are feathers from the wet felting process that now we can design onto the chicken. So that's the feather fashioning part.
So do we stick some pins in now?
Yep.
Okay.
These are long upholstery pins called skewers.
Okay.
And yep, go ahead, Belinda.
Does this look good to you?
That looks good.
Okay.
That looks good. And look at these beautiful stripes.
Oh.
You can put them inside.
Does this one have a name yet?
No.
Oh, she's gonna be beautiful.
Good.
Yeah. So we stick the pins in, and then what happens next?
And then what Carly is demonstrating here, Carly is my co-creative director here at the City Girl Farm, and she is an expert chickener, and she is using a upholstery needle and thread to basically go through and replace pins with stitches.
Okay.
And so each chicken is completely hand stitched, and yeah. All those feathers, there's a lot of beautiful moments that have to get captured by stitches.
Well, these stripes are just amazing when you start to look at it, and you lay it down one way and then you realize, okay, it gives it a certain look and feel. And then also, if I shift it, maybe I'm gonna like that better. That's probably part of the artistic eye in front of this.
That's totally it. Yeah, it's composition on a chicken. They're like blank canvases, and we get to just play with the feathers that we make and compose them however we think is most appealing.
Okay, well, it looks like Carly's almost done with that chicken. And of course, it needs a home. You told me that you can make about 15 a month. So, I mean, that's always just amazing. Well, the chicken below me, it's actually named Belinda. Sally was kind enough to tell me that this morning, and much of her April flock is up on the City Girl Farms website, and it's available for adoption. It's a beautiful blend of blushes and neutrals with a pop of green.